Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 State of ONYX Address. I am Dominion ONYX, Chair of the ONYX National Council, and I am pleased to report to you that the state of ONYX is good. We have much to be proud of, and our future is bright. And while our future is bright, there are clouds on the horizon and storms in our path that we need to address and be prepared for. The existence of ONYX has been and is always a political statement. It says that we will take up space because we deserve, desire, and demand it. When a sibling wins a title, it is not because the contest was rigged or because the judges were filling some quota. It is because our sibling was the most qualified according to the objective criteria against which all contestants were judged. Our existence stands in opposition to those who seek to maintain a status quo, or even worse, go back to a time when there was no space for our voices and our bodies except at the pleasure of others. In less than a month, this government has sought to undermine the progress made over the past 50 years. The current administration has removed federal recognition of Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, according to a January 31 article on advocate.com. In response to the horrific crash of a commercial airliner and a military helicopter over the Potomac River on January 29th, the president issued a memo implying that DEI hiring trends were responsible for the crash. ICE raids throughout the country are exercises in racial and ethnic profiling. Military personnel, Navajo Nation citizens, and Puerto Rican citizens have been caught up and detained. According to Native News Online, Navajo President Bu Negrin recommended that his constituents carry identification, driver's licenses, and their certificate of Indian blood. Newly emboldened by these signals from the executive branch, on January 27th, Idaho lawmakers called for the Supreme Court to undo Obergefell versus Hodges, the landmark 2015 ruling that declared the nationwide right to same-sex marriage. We should remember that in its decision overturning Roe v. Wade, the court, or at least Justice Thomas, called on the court to review other precedents, including rulings protecting same-sex marriage, gay sex, and the use of contraceptives. Storms in our path indeed. But what can we do? Here are 6 things that we can do. 1, apply for and obtain a passport card that you always carry with you. In theory, this provides proof of citizenship in a way that a state-issued driver's license cannot. Since the government is already showing its hand on the type of people ICE will be going after, it is better to be safe than sorry. Although all those American citizens that ICE detained this week were released, it was only after they were harassed, arrested, and processed. Number 2, get your news from reputable sources. A picture on social media with a blaring headline, but without a link to a news article is not news. Find one or more news sources that you trust. To find one, ask yourself the following questions. Is it something that I want to hear, or is it something that I need to hear, even if I don't like the messenger? Can I verify whatever this source is telling me from other sources? Staying informed will be one of our most valuable weapons going forward. Number 3, learn the difference between facts and opinion. It is okay to have an opinion, but you should always operate from facts. There are whole industries set up to keep you scared, angry, disillusioned, disinformed, disenfranchised, and disinterested, or fighting about the wrong thing. This flurry of executive orders was designed to do all of that while unmaking the foundations on which we have built our lives and families. Do not make their work easy for them. Number 4, protest, stay engaged, and be visible. There have been more than passing conversations about whether World Pride will even happen this year in the current climate. I want us all to remember that Pride is not a corporate event. It is not an opportunity to party. It is a protest. And this year, more than just about any other time since 1969, we need to return to those roots, and I will be there, and hopefully you will be there too, making sure our voices are heard. 5, be there for one another. Hear people when they tell you their pain and help them as you are able. You might not be Black or Latinx or Asian Pacific Islander or trans or disabled or a woman, but you know someone who is. They are your friends, your coworkers, your doctors, your cashiers, and they are scared. Scared that they or their immigrant parent might be unceremoniously rounded up and sent to Guantanamo. Scared that the life they built might suddenly unravel because of the gender they were assigned at birth. Scared that the consensual sexual activities they might enjoy would land them in jail. Scared that their lives will be changed if they are forced to carry a baby to term. They need our support in our words and in our actions. Over these next 4 years, the urge will be to turn away in the face of your own pain, but there will be strength when we turn towards one another and help one another. Some of you will ask exactly what protesting will accomplish. For those in power, they will see that we are here and visible. Will it change the minds of the current administration? Almost certainly not. But the mayors, governors, state senators, and city councils will see us, and they will have as much or greater impact on your day-to-day lives. These protests and marches are also an opportunity to network and strategize, commiserate, and gain strength. Your vest, this vest, with its black and silver back patch, is a symbol and a protest in and of itself. It marks you as a member of a community that centers queer people of color. Wear your vest, not just to bar night or community service events, but to the protest, to the grocery store, and to the city council meeting. This isn't even that revolutionary. The gay liberation movement has always included leather folks and kinksters who were clearly identifiable in their boots and back patches. We are merely carrying forward a tradition of activism that has existed since the first brick was thrown at Stonewall. You'll note that the tone of this address is different than years previous because the times we find ourselves in are different, and yet it is not all gloom and doom. As of today, we stand 11 chapters strong. That's one more than at this time last year, with the approval of the petition from ONYX High Desert, or OHD, in the National Council's fourth quarter 2024 business meeting. OHD serves the High Desert communities of New Mexico and will call Sidewinders Est 4200 Albuquerque Eagle in Albuquerque, New Mexico, its home bar. Our newest siblings have done a great job expanding the mission of ONYX, and we wish them the greatest success. We have confirmed interest groups in 3 cities and regions, including Seattle, Kansas City, and the Carolinas, and we are excited to see them progress towards approval of their petition to organize and eventual full chapter status. ONYX grows through the creation of these new chapters, which brings our spirit and energy and unique flavor to new cities and new people. If you want more details about the chapter and formation process, you can reach out to your ONC, that's ONYX National Counselor, or directly to me. While we do have a chapter and formation process for those seeking to carve out a territory for themselves, please note that the process is rigorous, has high standards for completion, and takes about 2 years to complete. Energy is also building around Blackout, our 30th anniversary celebration in Chicago. Blackout 30 will be held October 16th through the 20th at the Hilton Orrington Evanston. We are currently at 125 registrants and counting, and we have sold out our block in the host hotel. The Blackout 30 committee will be releasing information on the Overflow Hotel on Friday, February 7th. For more details on the event, including registration, hotel and event schedules, visit blackout.onyxmen.com. That's blackout.onyxmen.com. With your energy, your vitality, and most importantly, your presence, we will make Blackout 30 the best blackout ever. Before we talk about the future, let us take a moment to remember those who have passed on and thank them as they watch over us and guide us as ancestors. For the next 30 seconds, shout their name and post them in the chat. Romulan Onyx. Colossus Onyx. There are many more, and we keep them all in our thoughts. Thank you. As I discussed a moment ago, 2025 will see not only our 30th anniversary in Chicago, but also the 26th World Pride in Washington, D.C. in June. The first Pride was a riot started by Black and brown queer women protesting the authoritarian and oppressive presence of the New York City Police Department. The first World Pride was held in Rome in 2000, protesting the authoritarian and oppressive presence of the Roman Catholic Church. World Pride in 2025 will be, among other things, a protest against the authoritarian and oppressive presence of those across the country and around the world who would see us erased from the history, the present, the past, and the future. In the spirit of that riot, ONYX will participate in larger leather and kink community protests that week. While none of these events will be illegal and will likely not put you in any danger, they will show the powers that be that we are here, we are queer, and they must get used to it. As a nationwide and international family, ONYX needs to be there at World Pride, and my vision remains unchanged. A sea of our siblings, our ONYX and ONYX Pearl back patches unmistakable in the crowd. We are marching in the parade with our banners from every chapter waving in the breeze. We will march down Constitution Avenue and past Congress and the White House. We will be shouting, "We are ONYX," and pumping our fist in the air. We are the largest single leather and kink club in this country and likely the world. And they need to hear our voices and know that we will never be silenced and we will never be erased. The world needs to know that we are ONYX. And as I said last year, integral to the we in We Are ONYX are our ONYX Pearl siblings. The invitation to march and protest is, of course, open to all of our Pearl siblings because we are one. The ONYX National Council stands with our Pearl chapters, and know that when we say we, it includes you. Last year, I announced that we would have an ONYX family reunion in the years between blackouts, with the first one being in 2026. Final decisions will be made in the ONYX Travel Facebook group and a public decision on the destination made by April the 1st. Details on how to join the group will be forthcoming by February 7th. In 2024, the National Council completed the following goals: We incorporated the National Council as a separate business entity. We pursued and completed our 501c3 tax exempt status. And we continue to refine and establish our national expansion and chapter and formation process. Thank you to PAP ONYX for spearheading the completion of these activities, especially the incorporation of as a business entity and the 501c3 tax status. With these goals achieved, the National Council can pursue its objectives in support of our collective vision, including and especially the protection of our intellectual property. The remaining year one goals are still in progress, including standardizing our chapter's bylaws, reviewing membership language, establishing a national membership database, publishing a national code of conduct, establishing a chapter tax, and creating a communications program. I can report that we have consolidated the bylaws from the various chapters and are preparing to reach back out to the chapters to discuss a model set of bylaws. We are preparing a set of recommendations for inclusive language to be used in the family so that everyone feels welcome and included in the life of ONYX. We have established a short list of vendors for a nationwide membership database, and we have a model code of conduct which we'll be reviewing in our third quarter business meeting. Our communication programs continues to be a success. Thank you to Daddy Rod, who has helped maintain our social media presence over the years and is our current webmaster. Thank you to Sir Yardy and his team, who make sure our siblings are recognized on their birthdays. And thank you to Legionnaire ONYX, who continues to make sure that we all stay informed as our secretary and the longest continued standing member of ONYX. 2024 was a tough year for many of us, and 2025 looks to be challenging as well. Thank you to all of the counselors and board members of the ONYX National Council, and thanks to each one of you, each one of my siblings. You have made serving as the chair of the council an honor and a pleasure. In closing, the ONYX National Council believes in consent, safety, diversity, inclusion, and education. We stand on the values of brotherhood, trust, loyalty, dedication, discipline, sacrifice, achievement, integrity, and accountability. If there are ways that we can do better in our beliefs and values, if there's a project you'd like to see us undertake, or if you just have a question, email the National Council at betterment@onyxmen.com. That's betterment, BETTERMENT @onyxmen.com, or me directly at dominiononyx@gmail.com. The state of ONYX is good and our future is bright. We have much to look forward to. Thank you and good night. We'll keep the chat room open for a few moments for questions. Thank you all for joining and have a good night.